you this question. Our next topic, which is related to the Emmanuel Clase situation, brought to us by GameTime. If you ever decide at the last minute to head to the ballpark with some friends or family, maybe not a Guardians game or a Browns game, maybe it's another team around the league that's a little more interesting at the moment. And if you needed those tickets, then GameTime is the best way to get them at the last minute without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can buy extra concessions, even maybe invite a bigger group to come with you. With GameTime, anything is possible. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Bo, you mentioned that the Clase situation essentially takes the Guardians out of being buyers at the deadline.
They weren't going to be anyway.
They also can't trade Clase now because he's on the non-disciplinary list. He is ineligible to be traded until he comes off.
Not that anybody would want to trade for him now anyway.
Saying he is
it's not even
officially
possible.
Ineligible. Shane Bieber, starting for Akron tonight.
Yeah.
The Clase situation is obviously ongoing, and we know what happened. We just talked about it for 25 minutes. Do you think that either, or let me ask this way, before the Clase news, what do you think the Guardians' deadline plans were, and now how has it changed? How has this Clase news changed what you think they may do in terms of buying other guys or even selling off guys like a Steven Kwan, who maybe they preferred to keep long-term, but now?
I think I didn't think they were going to trade Steven Kwan. I'm still not convinced they will, but I think there's a much better chance now that they will, because not only is this season definitively over, but they have to be thinking that Clase is never going to play again, and maybe Ortiz too. And I think not only, when I'm saying fire everybody, I think the whole organization needs a reset. And so they may get out in front of that by trading Kwan. I would try to sign him this offseason. I think there's now a 40% chance they trade Kwan, and I think I said there was like a 5% chance a couple of days ago. They will trade Bieber, 100%. He's going to get traded. They have nobody else to trade. Carlos Santana, maybe they trade him. They might have to just cut him. He's got almost no trade value. Lane Thomas is hurt, so they can't trade him. Paul Sewald's hurt, so they can't trade him. They're not going to trade Jose. They're not going to really trade. I just think their chances of trading Kwan went up, and now I'm convinced 100% they will trade Bieber.
That's the sad part about it, because it's tough for people to keep supporting the team when you're sitting there talking about, like, all right, well, now it's almost like rewarding bad behavior. It's like, okay, so you got two players out indefinitely. You won't give Jose Ramirez any help, but you
I can't believe he took that discount now.
And
for this.
Now you telling me, your other all-star who don't do nothing, who's a good guy, who you're not going to pay him, so now you got to move him.
Yeah.
And what are you now? It sucks because Tyvus, it looks like people know that you are in the tight. Never. When you ask, when you know your chips is down and you need to go get a loan, that's when they give you that 35% interest rate.
Well, the interesting thing is, Jason said that they got a price and they not gonna move off their price.
That's why I'm only saying 40%.
So if that's the case, it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be no movement at the deadline because everybody's gonna lowball them for sure.
I tell you, it's a dark time right now for the Guardians. This is as down as I've been on them in the entire time I've lived here, except for maybe when I first came here and Manny Acta was still the manager that first year. Next year does not look good, especially if Clase and Ortiz are done. Then after that, there's going to be a lockout in December of 26. They may miss an entire season. Now, I guess on the other side of that, if they do end up with a salary cap, in theory that might benefit the Guardians against some other teams.
They're not going to agree to that.
But, well, if there's no baseball for a year, they might agree to it eventually. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you the question.
Yeah.
Why is it a foregone conclusion that you're not moving Jose Ramirez? There is no reason why.
I guess it's not. I would just be surprised if they traded him.
I mean, but look, if you have Jose Ramirez, right? This is like the Myles Garrett move. I get it. I don't want to move Jose Ramirez, but if you talking about you got your closer and one of your top 3 pitchers in your rotation, you lose them for free. You're talking about Kwan, like moving him and move. the pipeline that you got in your farm system has not produced an all-star in 15, 20 years. So if you Jose Ramirez, why would you keep him around and let him rot when that's your only way to reset?
Yeah, I mean, they could get a ton for Jose, but if they trade Jose and Kwan, good luck getting anybody to come to the ballpark.
That's a fact.
For at least the next year and a half.
Well, you won't next year, no, but and then the year after that, it's a lockout. So
I mean, I don't know for sure, but probably.
Bryce Harper just told the dude to get the F out of here with that camp talk. So if that's the case, then it's not happening. They get locked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's ugly. There's not a lot of hope for the Guardians right now. It's bad. It's real bad. But if they want anybody going to the ballpark at all, they better keep Ramirez. But I guess there's probably a lot of fans that feel like, let's just trade him. Why make him stay here?
I mean, because
I don't even know if he wants to be traded. He's got a no trade clause.
Because it feels like they're not even, because if they was trying to get people to come to the park and have people interested, this was the most I've ever seen Guardians fans be vocal on Twitter and be like, we're tired of it. Give us these young guys.
Yeah.
They have never, like, no contingency has ever been on these dudes in the front office. Like, yo, you got to tell us why this dude is not playing. You got that on the backdrop of it. It's like, okay, you're under 500. It's not like you have, at least if you got a nice shiny toy or a new guy that said, man, he's hitting the cover off the ball. Or he's hitting home runs. People will be like, okay, we got future plans.
No. DeLauder's hurt again. Bazana's in AA. He's not playing in the majors. Kafis has been great, but they obviously have shown no indication they're going to call him up. He's their only decent prospect that's healthy and playing well. Everybody else is either hurt or not playing
Explain that to me. Just
it
try
makes no
to.
sense, G.
Nick Kurtz was in the same draft as Bazana?
Yes.
He was the 4th pick?
I don't remember exactly.
That boy got some pressure. Oh, hell, boy.
Yeah.
Whenever Bazana get up here, he better.
Yeah.
He better.
Perform.
Woo!
Last Guardians question. We'll move on, talk a little Browns here. But Shane Bieber is making a rehab start today with the Akron Rubber Ducks. Bazana's leading off in that game. So
this will be his last start as a member of the organization.
Well, that was the second part of the question I wanted to ask. But the real part of the question I wanted to ask is, does his value, is it tied whatsoever to how he pitches today? We saw him last week in Lake County. If he pitches well tonight,
it's not even about like the statistics. It's just, does he look healthy? As long as he looks healthy, if he gives up a home run, like if he gave up a 3-run homer because he just missed the pitch or something, that doesn't matter. It's just, does he go out there? Is he look crisp overall? Is he healthy? That's it. And someone will pay. You'll get a better price than I think people thought, because he could be a difference maker for another team in the playoffs. As a Cubs fan, I'd give up a lot for Bieber if he looked healthy. Now, you're not going to get a crazy amount because he's pretty much a free agent at the end of the year. He's got a player option, but he's not going to pick it up unless he's hurt. So he's pretty much a free agent after this year.
They going to get rid of Bieber, man.
Yeah,
he's 100% he gets traded. I'll be stunned.
Why would you?
I always wanted it to work out at the end.
No. By the way, when the for whatever it's worth, when the Guardians re-signed Bieber, I didn't like it. Everybody called me crazy, and now he's not going to pitch a single game for them, most likely.
Crazy.
Now he might. They'll get
you
something.
For him. At least you can get something.
Hopefully they'll turn him into at least one player that can do something. But does anybody have any faith?
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
Somebody was saying, Zach was saying morning that that the Padres are dying to get Steven Kwan, and that they have a prospect who's like one of the best prospects in baseball that the Guardians would want. But the guy's 18 years old. You have any faith that the Guardians are going to turn that guy into the superstar? I have no faith.
Is Kyle Manzardo the best trade asset we've gotten in the last few trades?
Yeah. Kyle Manzardo's a good player. He's their third best player, and he doesn't play against lefties.
And he can't even get on the screen. He can't get on the screen.
So we traded all these players, and he's the best one.
Well, who have they traded that was so good? Since Lindor.
Let's see, Jimenez, Naylor.
Well, Ciccone's been excellent in the Naylor.
I guess he has been all right.
Hey, McNuggets, guess what? I remember you doing a topic and said when we had a hard time thinking about it. Because we were like, yo, who has the best championship window? in the next few years, the Cavs just got Donovan Mitchell. The Guardians was moving. They just was in the ALCS, and then the Browns had Deshaun Watson, and
we all picked the Guardians, didn't we?
And we picked.
I think it's pretty safe to say the Cavs are the only team.
We have 2 in a rebuild.
Yeah.
And how quickly life comes at you.
Yeah.
We went through real quick, and then we'll move on up to Browns. For the Browns and the Guardians, we have, in the short life of UCSS, 3 years and change, we have gone through the entire life cycle of championship windows for what we thought was both teams. Now, the Guardians isn't officially slammed shut yet. I think it is. The Browns was in our minds.
Well, the Browns never really had a chance.
But it never really was. But in our minds, it was.
Right.
But we have gone through 2 full life cycles in terms of the way we looked at those 2 organizations in 3 years. And I go back, and I remember when it was 6 months after I moved here. We had just started UCSS, and Oscar Gonzalez hit that walk-off home run in the 15th inning, whatever inning it was, the 14th inning. I was on a terrible date out
when they get the Yankees?
Lakewood. We were watching the game.
No.
It was the Rays.
No, it was against the Rays.
Against the Rays. I remember exactly where I was.
Yeah.
And that feels like an eternity ago.
And think about it. Think how much we grew. For the post game, me and Earl did the post game for the Guardians.
Did y'all really?
Now it's Zach Meisel and Bull. Yeah. Like, you see the stimulus package.
And I will say, and then we'll move on. Listen to the Ultimate Guardian show this morning with Zach and Bo. It was, and I texted Bo this morning. It was the epitome of what we hoped when we started these spin-off shows. The best of the best talking that specific sport. Zach was incredible. Bo, you were great this morning. A lot of what you said now is what you repeated from the show this morning, but you guys, terrific. If you want more Guardians, we'll talk a little more Guardians later in the show, but about 45 minutes of unfiltered, real, and I say real because
55 minutes.
55 minutes of real, unfiltered, from inside the clubhouse perspective that Zach gives to. Well worth your listen. So make sure you guys check that out on our YouTube page. But let's pivot.